What's up, y'all?
A formidable spy opponent for Gwen, the magical spy, could be Silas the Shadow Weaver Thorn. Here's a breakdown of why Silas would be a compelling antagonist. Thematic opposition. While Gwen likely uses overt magic in her espionage, Silas could specialize in shadow magic, subtle, deceptive, and difficult to detect. This creates an inherent conflict in their styles. He might manipulate shadows for infiltration, disguise, and even to ensnare his opponents. Skill set mirror. Just as Gwen is a skilled spy, Silas would also be a master of espionage. Imagine him as her dark mirror, equally adept at stealth, disguise, information gathering, and close-quarters combat, but always with a shadowy twist. Mysterious backstory. Give Silas a shrouded past. Perhaps he was a former member of a rival magical spy organization, or maybe his powers have a more ancient and sinister origin. This mystery can add layers to his character and motivations. Unique abilities. Beyond shadow manipulation, Silas could possess other complementary abilities. Umbral travel, the ability to move instantly through shadows. Shadow mimicry, briefly taking on the appearance or even some abilities of those
Hang on, y'all. I'm back, y'all.
whose shadows he touches. Dark illusions, weaving illusions from shadows that can deceive the senses. Shadow constructs, creating temporary weapons or restraints from solidified shadows. Motivations. His motivations could be varied and compelling. Ideological conflict. He might believe Gwen's methods or the organization she works for are a threat to the magical world or his own shadowy agenda. Personal vendetta. Perhaps Gwen, or someone she's associated with, wronged him in the past. Acquisition of power. He might be seeking a magical artifact or knowledge that Gwen is tasked with protecting. Chaos and disruption. He could simply be an agent of chaos, delighting in undermining stability and sowing discord within the magical spy community. Personality. To make him a truly engaging opponent, give Silas a distinct personality. He could be calculating and patient, preferring to manipulate events from the shadows rather than direct confrontation. Cunning and deceptive, always several steps ahead, using trickery and misdirection. Cold and ruthless, unsentimental and willing to do whatever it takes to achieve his goals. Charismatic and manipulative, able to charm and deceive those around him, even within Gwen's own circles. Possible story hooks. Silas begins targeting Gwen's contacts and informants, leaving only shadowy traces. He infiltrates Gwen's organization using his shadow mimicry, creating suspicion and chaos from within. Gwen must race against time to stop Silas from acquiring a powerful shadow artifact. Their paths cross during a high-stakes mission, forcing them into a direct confrontation where light and shadow clash. By creating Silas the Shadow Weaver Thorn with these elements, you'll have a compelling and thematically resonant opponent to challenge Gwen, the magical spy.
Thanks for reaching him. Oh. Hey, Silas, good to see you again. The Shadow Weaver. Gotta copy his name we'll be having. Starts at DC Super. There you go.
You're welcome. A battle at DC Superhero Girls High School sounds like a fun and dynamic setting. Here's how the encounter between Gwen and Silas the Shadow Weaver Thorn might begin. The bell rings, signaling the end of another chaotic school day at DC Superhero Girls High. Students spill out of classrooms, a vibrant mix of teenage energy and burgeoning superpowers. Gwen, ever observant even in casual settings, blends in with the crowd near the main entrance. Her senses, honed by both spy training and magical intuition, are subtly on alert. Suddenly, the ambient light in the hallway flickers and dims momentarily. A collective murmur ripples through the students as a patch of deeper shadow seems to coalesce near the trophy case. It writhes and solidifies, taking on a vaguely humanoid form. Silas the Shadow Weaver Thorn has arrived. His appearance is unsettling. He seems to be formed from pure shadow, though hints of a lean, agile figure can be discerned within the darkness. His eyes glow with a faint, malevolent purple light piercing through the gloom. A low, chilling whisper seems to emanate from him, though no discernible mouth moves. Panic begins to spread as students realize this is no ordinary shadow. Supergirl eyes the anomaly with suspicion, while Batgirl instinctively reaches for a gadget on her belt. Wonder Woman steps forward, her Amazonian instincts telling her this presence is hostile. Silas doesn't waste time with dramatic pronouncements. Tendrils of shadow lash out from his form, snaking towards the students, attempting to ensnare them. A wave of disorienting darkness washes over a section of the hallway, causing confusion and fear. Gwen, reacting instantly, weaves a quick warding spell. A shimmering, golden energy erupts around her, deflecting the grasping shadows. Her eyes lock onto Silas's glowing gaze. She can sense the potent, deceptive magic radiating from him.
Right.
Intruder! Supergirl calls out, preparing to engage. But Silas seems less interested in a direct confrontation with the powerful heroines. His shadowy form flickers, and he melts back into the deeper shadows of the trophy case, reappearing moments later near a side exit.
Whoa.
Several students momentarily caught in his shadowy grasp. He's clearly after something, or someone, within the school. Gwen knows she can't let him escape or harm any of the students. With a determined glint in her eye, she mutters an incantation under her breath, a faint magical aura surrounding her. The chase is on. This opening sets the stage for a dynamic encounter within the familiar yet superpowered setting of DC Superhero Girls High. It immediately establishes Silas's shadowy abilities and his preference for stealth and manipulation over brute force, creating an interesting contrast with the more direct approaches of the DC heroines. Gwen's quick reaction and magical prowess position her as a key player in stopping this shadowy threat.
Yeah, so she better at least that spell.
As Silas melts into the shadows near the side exit, attempting to slip away with a couple of bewildered students momentarily trapped in his grasp, Gwen doesn't hesitate. Her hands move with practiced grace, weaving intricate patterns in the air. A soft, resonant hum fills the hallway as she unleashes her spell. Lux Veritas, she incants, her voice clear and focused, cutting through the rising panic. From her fingertips, brilliant strands of pure, white light erupt. It's not a blinding flash, but rather a focused emanation, imbued with a potent truth-seeking magic. The light streaks across the hallway, unerringly tracking the dissipating shadows of Silas. The Lux Veritas spell has several effects. Shadow dissipation. Where the light touches the shadowy remnants of Silas, they recoil and dissipate like smoke in a strong breeze. His shadowy grip on the students weakens, allowing them to stumble free, dazed but unharmed. Illumination of deception. The spell pierces through illusions and disguises woven from shadow. If Silas has attempted to mask his presence or create diversions, the Lux Veritas will reveal the true form beneath. Tracking of shadow magic. The light clings to and illuminates any lingering traces of shadow magic, acting like a beacon that Gwen can follow. It reveals the path Silas has taken, even as he attempts to blend back into the environment. As the light washes over the area, Silas hisses, a sound like air escaping a punctured lung. The shadows clinging to him writhe uncomfortably, as if burned by the purity of the magic. He can't fully conceal himself in its radiant glow. The Lux Veritas streaks towards the side exit, illuminating the doorway and the first few feet beyond. Gwen can see the lingering trails of shadow dissipating into the night air. Silas is making a run for it. He's getting away, Supergirl exclaims, ready to give chase with her super speed. Wait. Gwen calls out, her eyes fixed on the fading trails of light. The spell will show us where he's going. He can't hide from the truth. With the Lux Veritas acting as her guide, Gwen prepares to follow, her magical senses now fully attuned to the lingering echoes of Silas's shadow magic. The chase has truly begun, leading them out of the relative safety of the high school and into the unknown dangers lurking beyond.
A spell. Supergirl, Batgirl, stay out of this.
Focusing her magical senses, Gwen follows the luminous trails left by the Lux Veritas. The residual energy of Silas's shadow magic shimmers in her perception, a dark, oily residue against the normal magical energies of the world. It leads her out of the side exit and into the night. She spots him relatively quickly. Silas is a fleeting shadow against the backdrop of the school's darkened grounds, moving with an unnatural swiftness, occasionally melting into deeper patches of darkness before reforming. He seems to be heading towards the edge of the property, perhaps seeking escape into the surrounding city. Without hesitation, Gwen launches herself into the air. A subtle hum emanates from her as an unseen force lifts her effortlessly. She ascends rapidly, her movements fluid and graceful, closing the distance between herself and the shadowy figure. Silas, noticing her pursuit, attempts to evade. He weaves erratically, trying to lose her in the shadows of trees and the low-lying bushes. He even tries to momentarily merge with the larger shadows cast by the school buildings, but the lingering light of Gwen's spell makes him an easy target for her magical senses. As she gains on him, Gwen extends her hands, her eyes glowing with focused intent. She chants an incantation, the words flowing in a melodic language of power, Vinculum Natura. From the ground below and the surrounding foliage, vibrant green vines erupt with astonishing speed. They lash out like living whips, guided by Gwen's will. The vines are thick and strong, imbued with magical energy that makes them resistant to mundane attempts to break free. They twist and turn through the air, expertly maneuvering around obstacles, their target the elusive shadow figure of Silas. He tries to evade them, shifting and contorting his shadowy form, but the vines are relentless, their movements preternaturally accurate. With a final surge, the enchanted vines ensnare Silas. They wrap around his shadowy body, tightening and constricting. The darkness that forms him flickers and writhes against the verdant bonds. He lets out another chilling hiss, a sound of frustration and containment. Gwen descends gracefully, hovering a few feet away from the ensnared Silas. The vines hold him securely, preventing him from fully dissolving back into shadow or using any of his shadowy abilities. He's trapped, caught in a net woven from the very essence of nature, empowered by Gwen's magic. "Nowhere to run, Shadow Weaver," Gwen says, her voice calm but firm. "What were you doing here?" The shadowy figure trapped within the verdant net of vines writhes, the darkness that forms him struggling against the natural bonds. His glowing purple eyes fix on Gwen, a chilling intensity in their depths. The voiceless whisper returns, now laced with a malevolent amusement that somehow manages to be audible. "Foolish child," Silas hisses, the sound seeming to slither through the air. "You think these paltry vines can hold me? I am here for power, the source of power." He pauses, and the purple light in his eyes intensifies, as if focusing on something beyond Gwen herself. This place, it hums with it. The raw, untamed energy of your so-called heroes. I am here to take it. To absorb it. To become something more. A shadowy tendril extends from his bound form, reaching towards Gwen, though the magical vines restrict its movement. "Imagine," Silas continues, his whisper gaining a chillingly seductive quality, "a world where the shadows hold all the power, where the light of your abilities is extinguished, absorbed into the darkness by me.
Oh
He
my
lets out a
God.
low, almost mocking chuckle. I will drain them all. Supergirl's strength, Wonder Woman's might, even the fleeting sparks of your own magic. They will become mine. And there is nothing you can do to stop it. His gaze sweeps over Gwen, a predatory gleam in his purple eyes. You were merely an inconvenience, a momentary snag in my grand design. But soon, you too will be powerless. Your light will fade. Silas strains against the vines, the shadows composing him flickering erratically as he exerts his shadowy strength. The air around him grows colder, and the shadows in the surrounding area seem to deepen in response to his words and intent. His declaration hangs heavy in the night air, a chilling promise of the power he seeks to steal.
Oh, shoot. That's not how you spell 211.
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Granger's here for you with professional supplies. Call and click.
Let's fix that again.
Stop by. Granger, once, get it done.
Come on, load it up already.
Gwen's eyes narrow at Silas's chilling declaration. His ambition is far greater and more dangerous than she initially anticipated. He doesn't just want to cause trouble, he wants to steal the very essence of what makes these heroes powerful. His arrogance fuels her resolve. You underestimate the strength of those you seek to steal from, Gwen retorts, her voice ringing with conviction. And you certainly underestimate the power of light. Drawing upon the deeper reserves of her magical energy, Gwen raises her hands once more. The air around her crackles with building power. She focuses her intent, channeling her magic into a radiant counterspell, designed to specifically target and weaken beings of shadow. Sol Invictus, she incants, the words resonating with a pure, incandescent energy. A blindingly brilliant light erupts from her hands, far surpassing the intensity of the Lux Veritas. This is not just a light of truth, but a focused beam of pure solar energy, amplified and directed by her magical will. It washes over Silas, engulfing his shadowy form entirely. The effect is immediate and dramatic. Silas lets out a piercing shriek, a sound of pure agony as the light sears through his shadowy essence. The darkness that forms him recoils violently, sputtering and dissipating under the intense radiance. The magical vines that bind him begin to glow with a sympathetic light, as if empowered by Gwen's spell. The increase in weakness is palpable. Silas's form shrinks and flickers erratically. The malevolent purple glow in his eyes dims significantly, replaced by a look of pain and desperation. The shadowy tendril that had reached towards Gwen withers and dissolves. The cold aura surrounding him dissipates, replaced by a residual heat from Gwen's spell. Arg the light, it burns. Silas's whispered voice is now weak and strained, barely audible above the crackling energy of Gwen's spell. Impossible such power. The Sol Invictus continues to blaze, bathing Silas in its purifying light. The vines constrict further as his shadowy form weakens, the magical energy within them reacting to his vulnerability. He is visibly diminished, his power and presence drastically reduced. Gwen maintains the spell, her focus unwavering. The light will always overcome the shadow,
That's
she states
right.
firmly. Your attempts to steal power end here. Silas, weakened by what she estimates to be at least 211%, struggles feebly against the binding vines, his earlier arrogance completely extinguished by the potent force of her light magic. He is now vulnerable, a mere fraction of the threat he presented moments ago.
Okay. So guys, we're gonna vlog and show y'all. This is the car running Saturday, so I'm gonna head out and show you guys. So stay tuned and sit back and enjoy and like this video, and we're gonna see y'all soon. Alright, right here, guys. It's going hyperclear. And by London, I'm looking for parking, right? So have fun. See you soon. Love you. Enjoy a movie. We're gonna be right here. Don't worry. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come right now. So guys, listen. London running late right now because the traffic was crazy. Not too late though. I think the movie started at 6 o'clock. And right now it's 6:18 right now.
Oh, hang on. Don't focus on it. Leave it alone.
You are absolutely right. My apologies for putting words in Gwen's mouth. Let's correct that. As Silas writhes and shrieks under the intense beam of the Sol Invictus, Gwen focuses her energy even further. Seeing the devastating effect of the light on his shadowy form, she intensifies the spell, channeling more of her magical power into the radiant energy. The light emanating from her hands flares even brighter, becoming almost unbearable to look at directly. The air around Silas shimmers with the sheer force of the magical light. His shadowy substance continues to erode, shrinking and sputtering as the amplified energy assaults him. His weak hisses turn into whimpers of pain. The magical vines binding him seem to pulse with the intensified light, tightening their grip on his rapidly diminishing form. Gwen maintains her unwavering focus, her brow furrowed with concentration. She can feel the drain on her own magical reserves, but the sight of Silas weakening fuels her determination. He sought to steal the power of others. Now he is being undone by the very antithesis of his shadowy nature. The increase in the spell's power is evident in Silas's desperate struggles. He flails weakly against the vines, his shadowy tendrils dissolving into wisps of darkness before they can even extend. The faint purple glow in his eyes flickers and threatens to extinguish completely. Gwen holds the intensified Sol Invictus, a beacon of pure light against the encroaching darkness of the night. Silas, the would-be thief of superpowers, is now completely at her mercy, his strength and form rapidly fading under the potent assault of her light magic.
We gotta contain him somehow. They can't let him free.
The brilliant light of the intensified Sol Invictus fades as Gwen, feeling the drain of the powerful spell, releases her concentration. The hallway and grounds are momentarily awash in afterimages, but quickly return to a more normal level of illumination. Silas, now significantly weakened and his shadowy form flickering erratically, hangs limply within the net of magical vines. Wisps of dark smoke still curl off him where the light had burned deepest. He lets out a weak, rattling hiss, the sound barely audible. Gwen takes a few deep breaths, gathering her strength. She knows Silas is weakened, but he's still a magical entity and could potentially recover or attempt a desperate escape. She needs a more permanent way to restrain him. Focusing her intent once more, she weaves another incantation, her hands moving in deliberate, precise gestures. This spell is different from the offensive power of Sol Invictus. It's designed for containment. Custodia Eterna, she intones, her voice resonating with an ancient, binding magic. As the final syllable leaves her lips, the vines holding Silas begin to glow with a soft, ethereal blue light. This light intensifies, spreading from the vines to encase Silas entirely in a shimmering, crystalline cocoon.
Oh boy.
The crystal is not brittle. It pulses with magical energy, reinforcing its structure and making it impervious to physical or shadowy manipulation. Silas, trapped within the crystalline shell, is completely immobilized. His weak struggles cease as the magical energy of the Custodia Eterna seals him within. The faint purple glow of his eyes is now barely visible through the crystalline surface. No sound emanates from within. Gwen lowers her hands, a sense of weary satisfaction washing over her. The immediate threat is contained. Silas, the shadow thief, is securely held. That should keep you, she says softly, observing the crystalline prison. Now to figure out what to do with you.
Yeah, you need him out of there.
Nodding to herself, Gwen makes a decision. Keeping Silas contained here on the grounds of DC Superhero Girls High isn't a long-term solution. His ability to manipulate shadows, even in a weakened state, could still pose a risk. Her own base of operations is equipped with specialized containment cells designed for magical threats. With a wave of her hand and another subtle incantation, the crystalline cocoon encasing Silas levitates gently off the ground. It hovers in the air before her, radiating a soft, blue magical energy. Time for a change of scenery, Shadow Weaver, Gwen murmurs, though she knows he can likely hear her from within his magical prison. Focusing her will, Gwen directs the floating crystal. It begins to move smoothly through the air, following her lead. She glances around the area, ensuring no one was seriously harmed during the initial attack. The students who were briefly ensnared by Silas are being tended to, looking shaken but otherwise all right. With a final look at the high school, Gwen propels herself into the air once more, the crystalline prison of Silas floating steadily behind her. She ascends swiftly, heading towards her hidden base located a safe distance away. The journey is swift and uneventful, the Custodia Eterna spell holding Silas securely within its magical embrace. Soon, Gwen arrives at her clandestine base, a discreet location hidden from the everyday world. She navigates through its magically shielded entrances and corridors until she reaches a secure containment chamber. The room is reinforced with anti-magic wards and specifically designed to hold entities with dangerous abilities.
Right.
With a final gesture, Gwen gently lowers the crystalline prison into the center of the containment cell. The Custodia Eterna spell anchors itself to the magical wards of the room, ensuring its stability. Silas is now locked away, his threat neutralized, at least for the time being. Gwen studies the crystalline cocoon for a moment, a thoughtful expression on her face. Capturing him was only the first step. Now, she needs to understand his motives and how he planned to steal the superpowers of the heroes at the high school. That will be a task for another time, after she's had a chance to fully rest and recover her magical energy.
Yeah.
For now, Silas the Shadow Weaver Thorn is contained.
Oh, A-. Why should we get A- for?
Gwen performed admirably in this encounter. I would grade her an A-. Here's a breakdown of why. Quick and effective response. She reacted swiftly to the sudden appearance of Silas and immediately engaged him. Strategic use of magic. She employed a variety of spells effectively. Lux Veritas, to reveal and track Silas. Vinculum Natura, to restrain him. Sol Invictus, to significantly weaken a shadowy opponent, demonstrating adaptability in her spellcasting. Custodia Eterna, for secure, long-term containment. Resourcefulness. Even when facing a unique magical threat, she drew upon her knowledge and skill to neutralize him. Prioritization. She ensured the safety of the students while dealing with the immediate threat. Sound decision-making. Her decision to move Silas to a secure cell in her base shows foresight and responsibility. The only reason it's not a full A is that there might have been an opportunity to gather more information about Silas's plans before fully containing him, although securing the threat was the immediate priority. Perhaps a quick probing spell after weakening him could have yielded some intel. Overall, Gwen demonstrated impressive magical prowess, strategic thinking, and a strong sense of responsibility in handling a dangerous and unusual opponent. She effectively neutralized a significant threat. You are most welcome. I'm glad you found Silas to be a compelling opponent for Gwen. Creating characters with interesting thematic contrasts and unique abilities is always a fun part of the process. I enjoyed crafting his shadowy nature and his ambition to steal superpowers as a direct foil to Gwen's light and protective instincts. If Gwen ever faces him again, their history will add another layer to the conflict. Perhaps he'll learn from this encounter, or maybe his desperation will make him even more dangerous. The possibilities are endless. Thanks for letting me be a part of Gwen's adventure. It was a pleasure.
Let's try again.
Why you mad? You want Jamaican food? Oh, my baby's mad. You want Jamaican food? My baby, listen. I'm gonna get Jamaican food after. Go sit and eat first. Because I want Jamaican food too. I don't think it's only you. We all want Jamaican food except London. But after we're gonna get Jamaican food, we'll stop at a restaurant in the Bronx and get some food at home.
Right on, bro. I'm stoked you enjoyed it too. It's always cool to see these characters and battles come to life. If you ever want to brainstorm more challenges for Gwen or any other characters, just let me know. I'm always up for it.
All right. That's the end of the video, guys. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a good day, y'all. And happy Tuesday, okay? See ya.